All right, so we're going to go to a break. We'll be right back, and we're going to give, again, with Dr. Tony Evans. He's going to give us some last few pointers about how should Christians vote today, right here on Just Ask Joyce. Don't go away. It's going to be more really worthy information. Dr. Evans, thank you so much.
WFIA, The Spirit.
At Window World, you're going to get our very best quality product
You'll
at
have
the lowest
your live
possible
spot
price.
next
right
break.
up front. Hi, I'm Kim Foster here for Window World. From the Good Housekeeping Seal to our limited lifetime warranty, for just $60 a month, you get 8 windows installed, plus energy-saving solar zone with approved
I've
credit.
been telling them
what a
about
value.
the webcam
Window World
for 2
guarantees
weeks.
our windows, including labor and glass breakage, for life. Give us a call or visit us online for full financing details at 800-NEXT-WINDOW or
You mean on the web?
Window World, simply the best for
Really?
less.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
On April 25th, Southern Seminary would like to invite you to join Dr. Al Mohler and special guest, veteran political journalist Cal Thomas, as they discuss God and politics.
Okay, I cut a 60,
leading national
so
voices
we'll be coming
as they
back.
seek to help the church and the Christian understand how to navigate this nation's changing political landscape. God and politics, April 25th. Admission is free, so register today at events@southern.com.
In my line of work, I'm trying to make a difference. Not $1 billion, but I do want to be able to save for the future. So this year, I partnered with TIAA to help me map out what I should be doing. Together, we came up with a personalized plan for my finances. And now it seems like a life of rewarding work just might pay off for a lifetime.
See how we're helping those who do good do well at the new TIAA.org. TIAA, created to serve, built to perform.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Dr. Evans, for hanging with us here. I know you're a busy man, you're in a hurry, but we were talking about this Daniel thing. When is it okay to resist and disobey man's laws? Is it ever?
Well, absolutely. When that law clearly is asking you to disobey God, God's revealed revelation, not my personal preference. But when it is asking you to disobey a higher law that he's given, then it is right not to acquiesce to that. Paul had a sit-in in Acts 16. Daniel would, he respectfully declined eating king's meat. The Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego were very respectful when they told them, "O king, we cannot submit to bowing." Whenever a government seeks to replace God, it has gone too far.
Amen. Well, you spoke of interposition occurring when righteous agents of God advocate on behalf of those facing imminent judgment or danger. Where do we find these folks on a ballot? I mean, if no one steps up, if no one comes forth, it's just, that's really this godly character, this God advocate, then what?
Well, again, on two things. First of all, I think we can't just look for the politics top down. We got to look for a Christian community to become truly Christian from the bottom up. So one of the problems today is that there are not enough disciples of Jesus Christ. There are a lot of churchgoers, there are a lot of Christians, but there are not a lot of people where Jesus Christ has the final say-so over every area of life. Until we get that group activated again, we will stay in trouble.
Well, you tell us there are certain things that God is willing to do in a society, but he won't do them until we as Christians take up our responsibilities in that society. That's kind of where you're going right now, isn't it? I mean, we've got to get on board with God before we can expect any of our political leaders to. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, a lot of folk are waiting on God, and God is actually waiting on us. He's saying, "I'm sitting here. As soon as y'all decide to get serious, I'll be ready to move." Sometimes we've got faith a little backwards. Faith is acting like God is telling the truth. It's acting like it is so, even though it's not so, in order that it might be so, simply because God said so. And until we get that kind of mobile faith and not feeling faith, then we will not see the hand of God enter into our cultural malaise.
All right, so what should be our viewpoints, Dr. Evans, on things like, and this is what, is dividing our country right now, these kinds of issues: immigration, taxation, racial disparity, abortion, social justice, and even partisan politics, but what should be our viewpoints on things like this when it comes to our, casting a ballot?
Well, the first question is, what does God say about this? Okay, the second question is, who's saying closest to what God is saying about this? Then, of course, you got a number of different issues, so you then have to weigh those issues and prioritize them. What's my biggest concern, second concern, third concern? So you establish what God says, you then order them in terms of priority, and then you see which candidate is closest to your list and your priorities, and that's who you vote.
Well, you talk about, you rush in here about people, maybe who aren't wanting to work for a good living, and we're looking at candidates who offer people not to have to work, that it's going to be, it should just be equal, and the government should just give you whatever you want. What would you say to someone who might be thinking that sounds really great?
I would say that the Bible says he that will not work should not eat. That's what God says. People have to exercise personal responsibility. Now, I'm not talking about people who can't work, who are unable to work, but people who refuse to work, then we should not subsidize irresponsibility.
All right. Well, this last question for you, Dr. Evans. You say that one of the greatest tragedies in the church, and you cast it in the church, is that we have lost our ability and authority to be an influence on those around us. How has the church managed to lose the grip on this authority?
Because we have abdicated what belongs to the church, to the government, and to the society. God is not going to skip the church house to fix the White House. And as long as we abdicate what belongs to us, welfare is a big deal, but welfare is a big deal because the church abdicated it. Racial harmony is a big deal, but the church at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning is still the most segregated hour. So if the church can't fix it, don't expect the society to be able to correct it.
Wow. That puts it where it is. Well, Dr. Evans, we thank you. We know that you're, you've got other things to do, but we so appreciate you taking your time today to talk with us about this very critical event coming up this year in our culture, in our society, and and we appreciate your clarity on this about how we should vote. God bless you and all that you do.
Thank you for having me. God bless.
And guys, you can't put it any better than what Dr. Tony Evans has just done. The Bible is clear on every issue that is an issue in our culture today, in dividing the evangelical community about how we should vote. Whether it's abortion, whether it's immigration, whether it's the taxation, all of those issues, they really aren't an issue, or they shouldn't be. Not when it comes to how we should vote. And I don't know about you, but I love Dr. Evans and what he had to say about being Democratic light, L-I-T-E, and Republican light, L-I-T-E, because he's telling us, look, take a look at the people. Don't just say, you know what, I've always voted Democrat, I'm going to be a Democrat. I've always voted Republican. All I'm going to do is just walk in those polls, and I'm just going to, just punch the Republican tab and bam, I'm done and I can walk out. I've done my civic duty and that's it. On Election Selection 2016 here on Wednesdays, Garrett Civiking, who is the political strategist that's been on board, we have done our best to bring to you the candidates and their platforms, what they believe in, what they don't, and so that you could make a decision. We've not tried to make that decision for you. I know that some of you think that, we have. Garrett probably has done a much better job at that, as have I, because I do inject my opinion sometimes, but hey, I get to do that. But I let you inject your opinion all the time. We do have opinions, but here's the thing, what Dr. Evans is telling us about this has got to be a God opinion. this election year, we have got to put God back in office some way. And what he's saying is, maybe the candidates aren't so stellar. We might not have the best to choose from, but we've got to look and sort through and figure out on our own who is the best. And we just can't take the word of the media. And Dr. Evans and I didn't have time to get into that, but we can't take the word of the media. Garrett and I have talked enough about that. You have to do your own homework. Look at what they have done. If they are a politician that's been in office for a while, whether they're a governor, whether they're a senator, wherever they are, whatever they've done, look at their track record. Look at their track record. That's all we have to go on. Now, you can believe whatever media tells you if you want to, but just make sure the media is right about it. That's all we're saying. And not always are you going to get the truth from the media. I know that blows your mind, doesn't it? It really kind of sets you back a notch or two. We don't get the truth from the media. We get the sensationalized story from the media. That's what we get. Sensationalism, that's what they push all the time, and that's what they want us to buy in. Look at the different stations. Just surf the nets and the channels and find out what every station is saying. You can discern the truth. And the truth will set us free in this nation. We can discern the truth. We can figure out who really is telling us the truth about things. We don't have to let them get into office only to find out that the finished project be compromised. Bob Leonard designs with pride. Why? Because he's seen the end results that I just spoke of. Better by Design puts knowledge of design and engineering concepts into work. In your drawing plans, they make sure that their plan specifications build out to all your expectations. Although I'd never steer you wrong, don't take my word. Go to Angie's List. She'll tell you, because there's lots of reviews right there, and they are good. So call Better by Design today, 502-741-2748. That's 741-2748. Or check them out on bbb-plants.com.
It's like the rebirth the world feels during spring. The new life when there was none, and the hope of real growth and wonder, like the kind of wonder of joining Alistair Begg on a magnificent Mediterranean journey.
Have you ever wondered what it would have been like to travel the dynamic missionary journeys of the Apostle Paul, to see for yourself the sights of the early Christian church? This is Alistair Begg, inviting you to join me this fall on the footsteps of the Apostles' Mediterranean cruise. Together, we'll encounter the sights of the early church like never before, with wonderful stops in Rome, Naples, Jerusalem, Athens, and more.
It's an unforgettable 15 days on 2 continents, sailing on one of the newest cruise ships, the beautiful Silhouette.
And we'll experience the magnificent Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, the beautiful Greek island of Santorini, and much more in luxurious accommodations over the pristine waters of the Mediterranean.
Get more information at WFIA FM.com and click on the Footsteps of the Apostles banner. You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Dr. Evans. If you do not have his book, make sure that you go to WFIAFM.com and get that right now. All you have to do is type in that keyword vote. I don't care where you live. I know that many of you are streaming me from many states over, and it doesn't matter where you live. You can go to WFIAFM.com. They will send you a copy of this book. It is one that I would encourage you to pick up. As I told Dr. Evans, every page has a Post-it note or highlight, or underline. I've dog-eared pages, and it's just too much even to get into. But he has so many profound statements in here. But one I really took note of: we must be careful not to drape the cross with the American flag. He is an amazing writer for sure. But guys, we don't have to really. I'm going to say this as carefully as I can because I don't want to let you off the hook by any stretch, because we have an obligation as citizens to go to the polls and vote. We have an obligation as citizens to vote with a really educated choice. And, if you do anything short of that, then you have robbed this system. You really have. And you have really done an injustice to the ones who will follow you. Because I can tell you, my kids, my grandkids, are going to have to live in the debacle that we have already created in our government system. And it's been crescendoing for quite some time now. And it's interesting that every president always inherits something that they don't want. It's always something horrible that some other president has left. But I can tell you, whoever inherits it this time, they have their work cut out for them, because there has been a lot of harm done over the years. And we are battling some difficult situations right now, but the multi-trillion dollar debt that we are in, it's going to take someone a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of nose to the grindstone, I'm telling you, to overcome this. And I'm not sure that it's going to be overcome in my lifetime. In fact, I'm almost quite certain it will not be. Maybe not even in yours, and maybe not even in our grandkids. Don't know, but if we keep stockpiling this debt, and if our congressional leaders keep compounding insult to injury with their frivolous spending, that's not just the president. I think the president has done his damage. I think Congress has done theirs. But there is a lot of frivolous spending that is being amassed, and they're not slowing down. They're not slowing down. All they're doing is telling us that, we have to work harder, or,